Good evening, all of you. Today we are discussing about what is a data model. What is data model? After that, we will discuss how to create table and what are the naming rules we have to follow. What are the naming rules we should follow? What is a data model? What is Oracle? My first question, what is Oracle? Give me the answer if possible. Very good. It is an RDBMS. What is Oracle? The answer is RDBMS. Okay. What is the use of Oracle? What is the use of Oracle? Store, process data. To store and process data. Okay, fine. Answer is right. Somebody has given. Next one. In which format you are storing data? In which format you are storing data? Very good. Tables. In the form of tables, we are storing data. Okay. So tell me, what is the table name? First question. And what are the column names? What are the column names in a table? What is the table name? We don't know. What are the columns in the table? We don't know. See guys, table names and column names we should consider from data model. Understand guys? Table names. I have started the development of database. So my first step is creating table. What is the table name? How many columns I have to maintain in a table? We don't know. So before constructing a building, we need a plan. Similarly, before starting Oracle database development, we need a design. Based on that design, we can start the development. That design is provided by data model. So data model is a graphical diagram. Data model is a graphic. Here I am writing simple points. So data model is a graphical diagram. Okay. What it contains? It will show how to implement database. It will direct how to start the database development, and it contains objects, comma, properties and relations. Data model contains objects, properties, relations. Okay. In this graphical diagram, how to represent any object? See, the object is represented with rectangle, and property is represented with ellipse, and relation is represented with rhombus. Again, I am repeating. What is data model? Data model is a graphical diagram. It is useful to implement the database or to start the database development. It is useful. Data model contains objects, properties, and relations. Objects, properties, and relations. What is the name of the data model? See, here is a point. For any OLTP RDBMS, the data model name is ER model. For any OLTP RDBMS, the data model name is ER model. ER model means entity relationship model. Entity relationship model. Okay. In the ER model, how to represent an object? In the ER model, object is represented with a rectangle. And property of object is represented with ellipse. Relation is represented with rhombus symbol. Okay, let me take one example diagram. Let me take one example diagram. See, so present we are discussing about data model. Okay, data model. What is the name of data model? ER model. What is ER model? What is ER model? Entity relationship model. Entity relationship model. Okay, now what is my next target is I want to create a table. Why should I create a table? Because there is some information in the business. There is some information under business. Let me take a business. In this business, let me take two objects. In this business, let me take two objects. That is, first object is employee object. There are some employees in the business. Second object is department. Okay, I want to create a table for employee. Let me take EMP. EMP is one object. Another object is DAPT. Another object is DAPT. Now see guys, here object is represented with rectangle. Object is represented with rectangle. And each object has some properties. Each object has some properties. What are the properties for employee? Employee ID, employee name, salary. Let me take only three properties here. Employee ID, employee name, and salary. See, this is your properties. These properties linked with object. Why? Because the properties related to employee table. Properties related to employee table linked. Similarly, what are the properties for department? Department ID, department name, and department address. Department ID, department name, and department address. Okay, now these properties are linked with the corresponding object. Object is represented with the rectangle and properties are represented with ellipses. The relation between objects, that is represented with rhombus. Here I am introducing important topic. Listen carefully. I have two objects, employee and department. Suppose this is my information under DEPT table, that is department ID D1, department ID D1, production department, address HYD. Next D2, department name, sales department, address India. And D3, department information, finance, that is in Chennai. Assume that three different departments in my company. Okay, fine. Now, what is my next target is, who are the employees in your company? Assume that I am taking some employees. E1, employee name Ajay, employee salary 34,000. E2, employee name Vijay, employee salary 44,000. And E3, employee name Krish, employee salary 30,000. Employee 4, and here Rishi, and 23,000. And E5, here employee name Abhi and employee salary 44,000. And E6, here Jack, employee salary 54,000. And finally E7, and here John, and employee salary 54,000. This is the data, employee data, department data. Now tell me, here, see guys, here, this is one object. Okay, this is one table data. Remember. And this is another table data. Both are different. What is my question is, how many employees working in the production? How many employees working under production department? Anybody? How many employees working under production department? We are unable to say the answer. There is no answer. Okay. Now, next one. What is the highest salary under finance department? What is the highest salary under finance department? We don't know. Okay, now another one. This is an employee. This employee working under which department? We don't know. Next one. This employee working at some city. In which city he is working? We don't know. So we have the objects. Related data is also there, but we are missing information. Why? Because there is no relation between the objects. That's why the information is missing. So compulsory, we should define relation. Between employee and department tables. Define the relation between employee and department objects. See, how to represent relation? Relation represented with rhombus symbol. And the relation is internally defined, technically defined with which value? Technically define the relation with department ID. Why? Department ID is a primary key. Department ID is a primary key. Don't miss that. This is primary key. Based on primary key, we can define foreign key column. In the child table, we have to define foreign key column. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry about parent, child, department ID, how to do this technically. Don't worry about anything right now. Why? Foreign key, primary key, unique, check, not null, everything we will discuss in the topics data integrity constraints. It's a separate 5 days concept. If you listen that 5 days concept, then you will understand how this defining relation technically possible. Then only you will understand. But for present, I have to explain what is data model. In the data model, we have objects. Why should I define relation? Also, I need to explain as a part of data model. That's why I am touching primary key and foreign key. See, based on primary key of department table, we are defining foreign key under employee table. Again, based on primary key of department table, we are defining foreign key under employee table. So foreign key, what is foreign key? It is also a column. It is also a column. The column is taking from where? I am taking this column from department table. From department table, primary key. So this is department ID. This is department ID. This column related with which table? Employee table. In this column, we should maintain values. It's a foreign key column. Foreign key column takes values from primary key. See, D1, D2, D2, D1, D3, D1, D2. Assume that. Now, see, you can easily find out complete information. See here, guys. How many employees working under Hyderabad? How many employees working in Hyderabad city? Anybody? Exactly, 3 employees. Why? Because the Hyderabad department is D1. So under D1, how many employees are there? 1, 2, 3. Next, what are the names of employees in the sales department? What are the names of employees under sales department? Vijay, and again Krish, and also John. Sales is D2. Under D2, how many employees are there? 3. Okay. What is the department name of Jack? He is working under which department? Jack is working under D1. D1 means production. See, before defining relation, we are missing data. But after defining relation, we are not missing data. That is the benefit of defining relation. That is the benefit of defining relation. Remember this point. Okay, guys. So now your ER diagram is completed. Entity relationship model. In this model, objects are there, properties are there, and relations are there. Here I am writing some points. I am going to write some points. What are the points? Consider object names as table names. Consider object names as table names. Consider properties names as column names. Consider properties names as column names. Second step. And third step is define relation. Define relation by using ref constraint, referential integrity constraint. Define relation by using ref constraint. So anyway, why we are discussing all these things? We want to create tables. Yeah, Ansari. Actually, that is out of topic question, but let me explain. Your friend Ansari is asking, sir, we should take primary key, foreign key always like this only. Means in the department table, take primary key. In the employee table, define foreign key. Always the same scenario or it will be changed. Listen, don't remember blindly how to define relation. Actually, there is a priority. Higher priority object parent, lower priority object child. Again, I am repeating. Higher priority object parent, lower priority object child. Right? General explanation. If there is a department, suppose sales department is there. Under sales department, multiple employees are existed. Again, under one department, that is sales, multiple employees are working. Means department sales is a parent, employees in that department are childs. So department is containing set of employees. So department is parent, employee is child. That's why in the parent table, we should consider primary key. In the parent table, we should consider primary key and define foreign key under child table. Define foreign key under child table. It's a standard principle. Consider primary key of parent table. Based on that, define foreign key under child table. Not only employee department. Suppose you are a customer. Listen carefully. You are a customer and you are a customer for one bank. There is a bank in your location. So customer bank, okay, fine. Customer is client, bank is business. So customer bank account number. Listen carefully. Customer bank account details. In this customer and bank account details, which is parent, which is child? Which is parent and which is child? Customer is parent. Accounts is a child. Why? Because maybe if you have 3 accounts, fixed deposit account, savings account, salary account. FD account, savings account, salary account. How many accounts? 3. One customer may have multiple accounts. So customer parent, accounts is a child. Suppose I am taking account type accounts. Listen, account types accounts. Account types means SB. It's a savings bank account. It's a savings bank account. Under one account type like SB, only one customer or multiple customers? Multiple customers. Means account type is parent and accounts are childs. Why? Because under SB, so many accounts. Under salary account, so many accounts. Understand? So that is the basic principle actually. Higher priority object is parent. Lower priority object is child. Hope you understand answering. Yeah. Right. Remaining technical information, don't worry. We will discuss each and every one later. Sukant, later. Why? Because our subject is diverting. Okay. Let me finish our data model. What is data model? It is a graphical diagram. It contains objects, properties, and relations. Object represented with rectangle, property represented with ellipse, relation represented with rhombus. Okay, objects or whatever the objects in this diagram, the objects are considered as table names. The objects are considered as table names. So what are the objects here? DEPT, EMP. So create one table for DEPT. Create one table for EMP. Yes. Next, property names. You have some column names. See, property names are considered as columns in the corresponding table. How to define relation? Later you will understand. Anyway, we are ready to create two tables, employee and department. How to create a table? The next command, the first command we are discussing, that is DDL command. The first DDL command is create command. So this command is used to create any database object. This command is useful to create any database object, not only table. So many objects in that Oracle database. So many objects under Oracle database, that is tables, views, indexes, sequences, synonyms, users. All these things are known as objects. To create any object, we will use create command only. According to our present requirement, I want to create one object. That is, I want to create a table for this. How to create a table? Table is one object. Now see how to create a table. Create table, table name. Create table, table name, open bracket, column name, data type, size. Again, column name, second column name, data type, size. Don't worry about data types and sizes. You will understand that point tomorrow. Okay. Now, how to create a table? Create table, table name, open bracket, column name, data type, size. Again, column name, data type, size. At last, close the bracket and use semicolon. Close the bracket and use semicolon. Let me create the table. Let me create the table. To create a table, we need to write a query. Where should I write query? To create a table, we need to write create command. We need to use. With that command, we should write a query. Where should I write the query? In the client interface window. In the client interface window. Okay. That window name is SQL Star Plus. The default client interface window name is SQL Star Plus. Let me open SQL Star Plus. First of all, let me connect to database. See here, guys. I'm going from search button. Search, open command prompt. It's a shortcut method. SQL Plus. It is a command. The username for our session is Dinesh9 / password is welcome @ORCLPDB. Understand? Enter. SQL Plus Dinesh9 / welcome @ORCLPDB. Completed. You have successfully connected to database. Present, we don't have any data. We did not created any table. Now, let me show you how to create a table. Create table departments, open bracket, department ID, character of 2, comma, data type to size. Department name, varchar 2 of 20, and department address, varchar 2 of 20. Finish. Your table was created. Table was created. Sir, what is this? It's a table name. This is a command. It is a keyword. And this is your table name. And this is column name, data type, size. Again, column name, data type, size. Okay. But before creating any table, already table is there. Don't worry about it. It was created here. By mistake, I pressed this next button. What is that? Before creating any table, we need to follow some rules and regulations. What are the rules we have to follow? What are the rules we need to follow? These rules. Each name, table name or column name, each name should begin with alphabet. Each name should begin with alphabet. And what are the characters we can use in the names? Which characters we will use in the names? You can use small case characters, capital case characters, 0 to 9, @ dollar, hash, and underscore. @ dollar, hash, and underscore. Again, I am repeating. In this, each name should begin with alphabet. Table name or column name, compulsory beginning with alphabet only. Within that name, you can use any of these characters. But my recommendation, guys, within the password or username, within the password or username, don't use $$ Within the password and username, don't use $$ Why? Because they are having special meanings. You will understand day by day. Don't worry. But present, don't use these three symbols in the usernames, especially in the usernames and passwords. Now, third point, names are not case sensitive. You can write the names in capital case, small case, and also mixed case. Names are not case sensitive. Next one, don't use duplicate names. Within the table, don't use duplicate column names. First point. Second point, within the user account, don't use duplicate table names. Within the table, don't use duplicate column names. Within the user account, don't use duplicate table names. And don't use predefined keywords as names. Don't use predefined keywords as names. Next, and don't use space within a name. Don't use blank spaces within a name. Okay, and finally, minimum length of the name 1 character, maximum length of the name 30 characters. Minimum length of the name 1 character, maximum length of the name is 30 characters. See, here I have given some sample examples, sample example names for both valid and invalid. See, this is valid, product underscore details, but it is invalid. Why? Because there is a blank space in the name, and here it is valid, emp@salary, but here emp.sal, it is invalid because dot is not valid character. And here emp123, it is valid, but 123 emp not valid. Why? Because it is not beginning with alphabet. It is not beginning with alphabet. Next, emp underscore info, it is valid, but emp hyphen info not valid. Hyphen info is not valid. And table, it's a predefined keyword, not valid. Table is a predefined keyword, it is not valid. Okay, guys, according to these rules, let me try to create some other table. Let me try to create some other table. But I am violating the rules here. Listen carefully. Create table column 1 number, comma, column 2, second column 2, it's a char. Is it valid or invalid? Try to find out the wrong name. Maybe column name is wrong, maybe table name is wrong. Anybody, guys? Why it is invalid, Kalebi? Yeah, here you are using table keyword. Create table is common, but what is your table name? What is your table name? Again, you are saying table. That is invalid. Table is a keyword. Don't use keywords as table names. It is saying invalid table name. Next one, create table 1 to 3, table 1 to 3, column, first column, ID, number, name, char. Is it valid or invalid? Again, invalid table name, because within the table name you are using space. Don't use spaces. Don't use spaces. Next one, let me create table, my table. It is a column 1. Data type is number. Only one column is there. Is there any wrong thing? Why? Why, Arpit, Sagar? Why it is invalid? Hyphen. Hyphen is invalid in the name. Don't use a hyphen within the column name or table name. See, invalid data type it is saying. Actually, invalid column name only. Suppose if I remove that, create table sample. Let me take column 1, it's a number. Column 2, it's a character. Is there anything wrong? It is valid. There is no wrong column name or table name. That's why table was created successfully. So before creating a table, we should follow rules and regulations. And always we will consider table names, column names from the corresponding data model. I hope you understand. But we need to know what is this and why is this. It is a data type. It is a data type. This is also data type. Then how many data types like that? What is the purpose of each data type? Both we will discuss tomorrow. Tomorrow's topic is data types. Hope you understand, guys. Any questions from today's session? I hope everybody is following properly. If you have any questions, ask me in the class or after the class, just drop a mail to me. If you have any questions, drop a mail to me. That's all for today. Thank you all of you. See you tomorrow. I'm sorry. Are you attending first class today? Then are you able to access our previous videos? Watch the beginning 3 videos. You will understand. What is your mail ID? What is your mail ID? I'm sorry. Type your mail ID in the chat window. I will save your mail ID and I will share the previous videos. Watch the videos. You will understand what is a cloud database. Yeah, I'm copying. I will give you access, videos access to this mail so that you can access that videos. Thank you all of you guys. See you tomorrow.